All right now. All right, let's see what we got. Let's see what's gozo. What goes on? Let's see. All right, let me get myself together. I need to get this link up first and foremost. Wait, no, that's not what I'm trying to do. There we go. Yes, all right, cool, we good. Wait, let me make sure that my all right. Hassan, what's good, bro? What is going on, my man? Wait. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Living the dream. All right, let me get this link out there. Live room password. That's up there. Scroll up. Okay. All right. If you hear the wind blowing in this mic, I apologize. I got this AC on. It's very hot. It is extremely hot outside, so I don't got no other choice. All right, let me see. I see Singun's in the group changing stuff in the group. I gotta get him. Gotta get him. I know some of y'all look forward to somebody doing that, just so y'all can see. Y'all can see me get at them. Oh man, so silly. Goodness. Damn, man. I'll be away from it for a few hours, and there's mad stuff here. I got mad messages, mad stuff I ain't do yet. All right. And I need to set this timer because I don't have that much time left. Only got like an hour really to be on these charts. So I want to see what transpires. 250, I couldn't tell what that looked like, but it appears that there's some speed right now in the market. So don't really like that, but it is what it is for now. I'm gonna watch this 25.73. There it goes. Yeah, there's speed in the market right now. Damn. Sheesh. All right, so let me at least do this. put it one more place. All right, so I got that out there. All right, cool. All right, so that's good. That's good. Now I got to set this timer. I had some coffee from Panera Bread earlier. Yeah, that coffee was nasty, man. No, not to get no coffee from there no more. That's one thing I'll do. At least I'll try. I'll try it out. But if it's nasty to me immediately, it's a wrap. All right, let me get over to the chat, see what y'all talk about. All right. Jay Carly, what's good? 4-0. Nice. Nice. Hassan, the video link. On you sent, where'd you send it? You sent it on my timeline? Or you messaged me? Oh, I see it now. Okay. All right, you messaged me. Yeah, I'm gonna take a look at that. It looked like it's something about Gucci. Yeah, I definitely will take a look at that. And why on this chart is the strike lines are not showing? What is that about? I'm like, is it me? Oh, I see what happened. The price just moved that far down below the bottom one. Sheesh. All right, so I see the market just doing a bunch. It's doing the most right now. Don, what's good? Benita, what up, man? Let me see. Oh, for 4 weeks. 0-0. Okay, got you. Got you. Yeah, Panera Bread coffee is totally ridiculous. If I'd have known that in advance, I wouldn't even wasted my $4. I mean, the bagel was decent. Osmond, what up? Yeah, bagel was pretty decent. They call it. You said you saw 4 valid trades today and didn't trust them. Didn't trust the trades or didn't trust the market environment? What the hell? Yeah, I was just about to ask that too. If anyone had taken trades. He now said Panera Bread has terrible food. Actually, I like their chicken soup. I like the chicken soup. The chicken soup is decent, and their little sandwiches is pretty good. They actually have pretty good ingredients, like as far as like their produce, like the tomatoes and lettuce and stuff. My son said, other than Starbucks, where else do I get that caffeine? Believe it or not, McDonald's has good coffee. And it's like, see, I be trying to, and that's why I'll give other places a chance, because I'm like, well, like McDonald's is McDonald's, but they have good coffee. If your coffee's not better than McDonald's, you got a problem. Because I'm not expecting to have one of the best coffees come out of McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not expecting that, but that's what it is. McDonald's coffee be better than mad places, like most places. And with Dunkin Donuts, it's hit or miss. It depends on the location you go to. Like you got to find a good location where the espresso machine is efficient, like where they clean it out thoroughly, and it don't have any aftertaste from the cleaning agents, like the chemicals. Cause some of them do that. Some of them, your coffee come out tasting like pine sol, and that's not. Come on, that's not the way to go. We don't want to go that route. I want my coffee tasting like Clorox 2. I don't need that. Like, come on, man, I don't need that. Benito said the 1125. Okay. Oh, Jay Carly said she didn't trust herself. That's interesting. That's interesting. Wow. So what went on today? Earlier, I thought I saw Joshua post a video or make mention. Oh, no. No, it was Benito. So Benito, the one that you had messaged me about, that was MRMH? Was that the one? What time was that? 11:25, right? That was 11:25. And then he said that, okay, I'm looking at it now. Got you. So the MRMH was 11:25, and then you took your follow through at 11:50. Got you. Yeah, Jay Carly, Auntie Anne's. Did I tell you about the Auntie Anne's? I told you I went there and I got I got a good latte, right? A good iced latte. It was delicious. And they only got it at the mall one. Like they don't have it at the regular small ones. You got to go to the mall Auntie Anne's to get it, and then they have it there. Hold on, let me look at this. I'm gonna watch this 3:05. All right, so I do got the timer set. I'm happy about that. Kuda said, you always lose? Kuda, you're in training, right? Kuda, you need to check your messenger, man. You need to check your messenger on Facebook. So you can get the information. I'm looking at this 2571 right now. I need to get an idea of what this market is really doing. Let me see. Well, for one, the timing is off. Timing is off. The timing of the behavior is off. And there's too much speed. All right, so we actually got a few things that we need to wait for. Yeah, exactly. Timing is weird. Oh, excuse me. Don said Dunkin Donuts. Hassan said no Dunkin Donuts. Nah, definitely Dunkin Donuts. Definitely. But you, like I was saying, you gotta, it depends on the one that you go to, location. You gotta find a good location and then hope that they don't switch up. Because I've had that happen too. I found a good spot, and then for whatever reason, their machine, something happens with the machine, and the coffee, the way the espresso comes out is off. Even Starbucks does that sometimes. I have to switch Starbucks locations because something goes on with the machine, and the way that it brews the espresso is different. And I can tell. That's what pisses me off, is when I can tell. Then when I try to explain it to them, I'm like, listen, the espresso is not strong enough. It's not potent enough. It tastes watered down. And I'm trying to explain that to them. And to them, they're like, well, we do the same thing every time. Yeah, but your machine is off. Something's off with your machine. So that's annoying when I go through that. I experienced that with Dunkin Donuts and with Starbucks. And then when it does that, it'll be like that for a while, like for weeks. So then I got to go get another location and do all of that. You know, it's a pain in the ass, basically. Winston said, we talking about food again. Body said, not food, drink. Drink this time. Hassan said, if you ever watch a video of a Keurig being cleaned, you'll never use it again. I have a Keurig. I haven't used it in about a year. I have not used it in about a year. Oh, he said it's crazy to see a Keurig taken apart and cleaned. I guess the buildup of the coffee residue gets in there, huh? Yeah, matter of fact, they have a cleaner. It comes in a bottle. It's a liquid cleaner. You know, it's something that they make specifically for the Keurig that you're supposed to use to clean it out. Like you're supposed to pour it in to where the water, the reservoir is, and let it filter through the system and I guess clean it out. I guess it really does build up in there, huh? Winston said, I buy McCafe. Yeah, and that's what I usually end up doing a lot of times, is just settling for McDonald's. When I want to, if I want a regular hot cup of coffee, I go to McDonald's. Because I know it's going to taste the same pretty much. They might sometimes be a little off, but most of the time it's the same taste. Mick said, this week's observations told me that when binaries began at the 6, priced out before the +1, priced out close to a minute, virtually all week. Yeah, you learned a lot about, excuse me. You learn a lot about the timing of not only the behavior, but also the timing of the parameters. It's so many different nuances like that go on that you begin to become more familiar with. It's such an ongoing thing, like, you know, dealing with the market. And that's why, you know, like I know for a fact that we're in the best position as far as traders go, because being in position to not be vulnerable to the market is more important than trying to make money in the market. And that's what I think that most people don't. They don't appreciate that. When you're vulnerable to the market, it is not pretty, bro. Like, it ain't pretty at all. And that's the thing about it. Everybody's vulnerable. You're vulnerable because of the nature of what you even doing in the market, like, to begin with. Most people are not studying the market at all. What they're doing is they're just leaving themselves open to what the market is doing at the time, not understanding what it is that the market is doing. And then on top of that, they're still trying to use a curve fit. So in other words, they're still using their strategy. So you're trying to use your strategy inside of a different type of market environment that has different nuances going on within the movement. And you are just, it's like open season on you. And I'm telling you, like, people, they'll be having success for a while. Maybe. Let's say that they are having success for quite some time. And then out of nowhere, with the same thing that they was doing the whole time, now it doesn't work anymore. Like, literally, they start experiencing losses. And they don't know what to do, how to deal with that. And on top of that, they have to constantly be in recovery mode. So it's better to be in observation mode than it is to be in recovery mode, because you insist on taking trades without understanding the dynamic of the market's movement. It's very dangerous to do that, man. Very dangerous. And people will do that. They'll do that indefinitely. That, like, they'll just remain like that. Scary, man. I'm like, that's scary. You tear your account up. You don't know what you're doing. Yesterday training was very good because who was it that actually came on training last night? No. Actually, no, they didn't speak. But I was dialoguing with, I think was it you, Bonnie? I think it was Bonnie. It was Bonnie. So, Bonnie had mentioned doing the 1-a-day challenge. And then I just started to just ask, basic questions to get a feel for where she was, like, within the training. Come to find out, and this is something that you become aware of yourself. When you give yourself the self-test, you realize that you just have way more training to do, not necessarily trading. You might feel that you're ready to endeavor upon actually taking trades live and going that route, but you may not be ready. And if you're not ready, you want to focus and you want to zone in on what it is that you need the most, and that's where observation comes in, man. It's very important. Mick said allows for early entry, just not TA protocol. Yeah, and I understand what you mean, Mick. I understand what you mean. It's funny because, see, there's no such thing as early entry. Like, I know that I do this sometimes. I'll break things down and then I dismiss the terminology of what we say. Just like how I say there's no such thing as a good trade. It's like, what? I'm saying things to make you think about what you're saying. If you just put things in perspective, it'll help you to decipher and to actually pick things apart more so. Let me see this 25.69. Let me see how this market moves here. 25.69. Yeah, jerky. Hassan said that's when you tap into your bank account. Order the latest you know what updated strategy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody knows. Everybody knows. And it's like, hey, I mean, you want to go that route? You want to follow the yellow brick road? Do your thing. Do your thing. Yeah, but what I was saying a moment ago was I was making reference to I'll say things on purpose to make you think about what you're saying. Just like when we say early entry. Now, if you're able to identify the timing of the market, now early and late becomes relevant because you're pinpointing the timing with more precision, right? Like this actually makes a lot of sense. And that's why I'll say certain things to get you to begin to get the wheel spinning so that when you're in observation, you begin to pick up on the nuances and then you can make use of the nuances at some point. It's not something that, you got to rush into. This is why I tell everybody to just let your process be what it is. You don't have to try to speed up your process as far as learning and developing and cultivating your skill. It's going to happen anyway. So it's kind of like you really could just let it be. Like you don't have to try to force yourself to try to figure something out. That's the whole purpose of the, MRMH. MRMH helps you to not have to figure anything out. If you just wait and follow the protocol, trades will come. And when trades come, you will win. Like that's it. So, but what goes on is a lot more during the process. A lot more goes on during the process. And that's what's powerful. Because what you're learning and as you're learning within the process, you're beginning to own the process, meaning that the process that you're going through, that you're experiencing, becomes your own process. It's a part of you. The learning process for you is a little different than it is for the next person, even though you're learning the same thing. Same principle as in the classroom. Classroom, you got a number of students in the classroom, and the curriculum is the same. It's the same information. Everybody using the same textbook, right? But your process is going to be different than the next student. The value for you becomes when you become self-aware to know what it is that you lack the most so that you can focus your attention on that specific thing more than any other thing. And then that's when you get empowered. That's when you become empowered. You see that right there? The timing is off. You saw that just now? That you saw the time of that behavior just now? Slightly off. Market was in position, but the behavior is off. The timing of that movement, and that's what led up to that speed spurt right there. And then the speed spurt leads to the price side, and one thing leads to the next. Y'all know what it is. I forgot all about this. Okay. Bonnie says, so the 2569 at 315 didn't have enough distance and did not hold. Is that correct? The 315. It was DQ'd. That one was DQ'd not because of distance. It was DQ'd because of the backtick, the direction of the movement. If you were looking at that to set up for a buy, it DQ'd on the movement. But no, actually you are correct too. You're correct as well, because I actually was looking at that also. It did not give you +1. It did give you distance. Gave you distance, but not +1, and then the movement came back in the opposite direction. Hassan said, have you ever experienced difficulty trading the dollar yen with the protocol due to the constant speed of that pair? To be honest, I don't even look at other markets, but I would imagine that for the most part, it's going to be the same as any other market, with the exception of the nuances. Now, the nuances are the difference. So, when you're looking at the nuances, they vary from market to market substantially. That's where you will get tripped up at. The speed of the market is going to ebb and flow. So it's going to speed up and slow down. So eventually it's going to slow down. I don't know how often it does that relative to other markets, because I'm not comparing them. Like, I'm not looking at other markets to know that. But overall, I don't think that it makes a difference as far as that one particular thing. Because, in fact, what's funny is that, and see, what you're saying is actually the opposite of what a lot of other people say about that market. They compared to the pound and to the euro, they say that market moves slower, that the dollar yen is slower, that it consolidates way more than the euro dollar or than the pound dollar. But I think that what you're describing has more to do with the fact that it's a yen pair. The yen has way more volatility and a lot of erratic type of movement in it in general. All of the yen pairs. So even though it's the dollar yen, which is traditionally a slower market overall compared to the euro yen or the pound yen, like it ain't even really no comparison, I don't think. Pound yen and the euro yen, they are huge moves comparably. The movement is much greater than your movement is on the dollar yen. Hands down. Like, it ain't even close, I don't think. But I don't think that you won't have an issue really with any market as long as you're applying the protocol and waiting, because it's only a matter of time before the market actually presents the right environment, gives you good behavior, and gets into the condition that you need it to be in order for your timing to be right. Now, whether a trade sets up during that time, that's a different question. Like, we deal with that with the pound all the time. Market might present excellent timing, but it doesn't get into position. And if it doesn't get into position, the trade won't set up. Yeah, pound yen, we used to call it the monster. We used to call it the monster. That market right there moves crazy. Yes, it does. I remember when oh, excuse me. When I used to trade in Forex, and I would trade the pound yen from time to time, the average true range on that was like 250 pips a day at various times. And just to put that in perspective, it was like 250 a day versus the pound dollar, which was like 150 a day. So it's like 100, sometimes 200 pips more on average per day. Yep. So the moves were humongous. But the one thing about the pound yen at that time when I was trading Forex was that it was very trend heavy. Like when it trended, whatever direction it was trending in, it would be in that direction for a while. The moves were humongous. Like they would, if you were like a Fibonacci person, like if you like fib levels and you like support and resistance and that type of thing, you could use that all day to find out where you are in terms of the duration left in a trend. Like if you were using support or resistance to identify places where it would bounce or react, you could very easily look to see how much more room you have in the existing trend. Yep. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And I remember that. I remember that vividly. What Don is saying. Yep, 400 pips a day. Yes, I remember all of that. There were days where it would move 1,000 pips. Yes, sir. Yep. And as I think back, I remember the years actually. It was 2007, 2008. Yeah, matter of fact, from 2007 to 2009, those 3 years were probably the most volatile times during many of the markets. I know that a lot of it had to do with the meltdown from 2008 that took place also. That created a lot of volatility in the market when the real estate bubble had bursted. So all of that bled into the way that the markets were moving. They were humongous moves. Huge. Yep. I remember on the pound yen, depending on the broker that you on, the spread used to be 10 pips. Like it was crazy. you know, the spread traditionally is like 2 pips. Depending on the broker, maybe one. If you have a real good broker, some of them had like a 1 pip spread on the euro. Spread on the pound yen used to be 10 to 15 pips. In other words, the difference between the bid and the ask price. Crazy. Yep, I remember that. Yes, indeed. I actually made a lot of money with the pound yen. as I think back. Yep, I made a lot of money with the pound yen. And I remember that vividly because it was so easy to trade. Like, all you had to do was just, whatever direction it was trending in, go for the ride. Go for the ride. You be all right. Yep. Don said he used Fibonacci's and pivots. Yep. Yep. Yeah, man. I remember using a lot of different indicators and things just to have on the chart. And it's not even that I really used to use them, but they used to just help provide, I guess, information about the current location of where the market was and what might happen. That's kind of what indicators do for you. You know, like there are indicators that some people use to try to time entry, but then there are indicators that help you to get more clarity on what the current environment of the market is overall. You know, like the higher up in time that you go, the more sense you get of the trend direction, the overall trend direction. Like my favorite time frame used to be the 4-hour chart. I used to be on the 4-hour, and I used to wait until the 4-hour lined up with the daily. And when the 4-hour and the daily were lined up, then I would drill down to lower time frames until I took it all the way down to the 1-minute time frame to enter into trades. You know, and then within that, there were times where you could establish what the distance was of the moves. If you could figure out what the distance was of moves, my goodness, you could smash when the market would trend. Because if I knew what the longer term trend direction was, I would just wait until the market points back in that direction. So it's kind of like when the market would move against the trend, you know that a trade is going to set up, because it'll do that until it reaches something. When it reaches something where it would have a reaction, that would be the very beginning point of where you could re-enter the market back into the trend direction. So I used to be very good at picking that out. You know what I'm saying? I was good at that shit too. But when it was all said and done, by the time I finished with my chart setup on Forex, there was nothing on it. No moving averages. It was just candles. Candles, and I would draw my own lines, like where there was support or resistance levels. I had lines drawn where there was significant points where I knew that there would be reaction at. And then I would, develop my plan from that. Sometimes I would wait days for the market to reach a certain point. When it reached that point, I knew that the timing was right. And I would position my trades at that time and then set it up with excellent risk reward. Like I used to get risk rewarded like 3-to-1 on the majority of my trades. 2-to-1 at the least. And for Forex, that's incredible. And these, and now mind you, like, these were not swing trades. These weren't hundreds of pips. I'm talking about, like, my stop might be 15 pips and my target will be 30 to 40. Short-term moves. Because like I said, I would be doing it within the trend direction from the longer time frame, and I would wait for the timing to be right so I could take a trade, and I already knew what the ranges were. Like, I knew how far they would go. I would be able to put my my stops in the right place, like relevant. It's kind of like knowing where there is either support or resistance levels, and you use support and resistance levels as a location for a stop loss, but you don't place it exactly at the level. My thing used to be, I used to go like 5 to 10 pips above or below wherever the support resistance was, and put my stops there. And on top of that, I think I had told you this, I had developed, there was a guy that saw the way that I was trading, and he used to program. So he programmed an expert advisor that would perform all of the functions of the way that I traded. But what it did was it did not put the actual stop loss into the platform so that the brokers couldn't see where my stop was. But the robot, the expert advisor, would see based on the market. It would know, and it would have the stop loss there at that level. It just wasn't in the platform. So the broker could never see my orders. Like the broker couldn't see where my stops were. Like I had to figure out that, like, how to do this type of stuff because the brokers was trading against me. And not just me. The brokers trade against everybody. But when they see that you trade in larger, contracts, not contracts, larger lot sizes, they will stop, hunt the hell out of you. They claim that they don't do that. They do that shit. They stop hunt. You know what I'm saying? They definitely do that. Yep. Ed said you should use the stochastic and the RSI. Yep. Hassan said daily charts for him. Don said when he got in the binary, the struggle, because I carried the Forex mindset. Exactly. It's easy to do. You do it naturally. You can't even help it. Max was good, man. Hassan said 3-to-1 risk reward is excellent. Yeah, man. I wouldn't settle for less than that. I wouldn't settle. At the least, I would settle for 2-to-1. And I used to hold my trades. Like I wouldn't exit early or none of that. There were times when I came within 2 pips of my target and I left the trade. Like I didn't adjust the stop or nothing. Left it on. Left it on. So, I get a lot of that. That type of courage I have carried on with me. And I do the same thing on NADEX. That's why I'm not scared to trade the binaries, because I was never scared to trade. That's one thing that I carried on with me, definitely. Andrew said 20 period moving average, one of my favorites, always keep me in check. Yeah, some people like the 20, the 21, definitely the 50. I know guys, they used to use a 10-50 crossover to enter trades. They wait for the 10 moving average to cross over to 50. That was the entry. And whatever direction the trend was going, the longer term trend, I should say. Yep, that was their thing. Mike said, how much leverage would you use? I was trading standard lots. Later on, I got into the one right understand it. I think it's mini. Because I think that eventually they added on micro too. So like now they got micro that you can trade. So but at the time when I was first trading, they didn't have mini. They didn't have mini lots and they didn't have micro lots. It was standard lots. That was it. Your leverage was 100-to-1, and that was it. It's like, yeah, good luck. The minimum I think at that time to open up an account was probably about 2,500 when I first got into Forex. So, it wasn't for you if you was lighthearted. And when I was in Forex, like literally during my entire Forex career, I never had a demo account. Not once. That's why when I came to NADEX, I didn't even know about the demo at first. I didn't know about the demo account on NADEX. Because I wasn't used to trading on demo. Live, man. Straight live. This right here look a little better. The way this behavior is starting to shape up a bit. Yep, behavior is shaping up a bit. This one right here was almost, well, actually it was in position, but it didn't meet parameters and it priced out kind of early. But the behavior, I liked it. That was good. So that's a good sign. Yep, that is a good sign right there. All right, make note of that. Damn, we only got that much time left. Only got about 15 minutes left. Damn. All right, well, it is what it is. Yeah, happy Friday to you also, Andrew. Definitely, man, definitely. Yep. Hassan said I stopped putting my stop loss because I swear the brokers know where the stops were. They did. They did. They see everything on the platform that you're doing. And the programmer that was programming my way of trading, he included that feature in the robot. It was called stealth mode. And it was like all it did was you put in what your stop loss was. Like if you wanted your stop loss to be 25 pips away from the entry price, it did it, but it wouldn't place the stop loss in the actual platform. So the broker don't know that you got the stop loss there, but the robot is detecting the movement of the price. If the price comes anywhere near that stop loss, boom, it's going to take you out the trade. So it would do that automatically without having the stop loss displayed on the platform. And this was, this was how he used to think, because I was telling him what I was experiencing. I was like, yo, I don't, the way these brokers are doing, man, they're cheating. He was like, don't worry about that. He's like, I got a way around that. And sure enough, he built that into the actual expert advisor. Yep. And then he helped me to develop an expert advisor that I had ended up selling. And the only reason that I sold it is because, I mean, like, I kid you not, people was beating me in my head to buy that thing. But I was just using it for myself. I did a back test on it for the euro dollar. I back tested it for I think it was 8 years. And, you had to go like to the MetaQuotes site to download the real-time data for the euro. Like brokers, they have the ability for you to back test. It's called the strategy tester in the MetaTrader platform. But it's back testing using the broker's information. But when you go to MetaQuotes, they have the actual euro dollar information, and you can download that into the tester so that it gives you an accurate back test. So I did all of that. Like I ran back tests on trading just on the euro alone. The results were like remarkable. It was crazy. Like it had no losses or nothing. And I think it was showing like if you started with like a $200 deposit, it grew to like 100,000. Like it was something retarded. But anyway, I had ended up selling. I sold it to a few people. They paid over $1,000 for that robot each. I think it was like 1,500 or something like that. And mind you, this is what they offered me. I didn't even put a price on it. I just asked them, I said, well, how much you want to pay for it? I was like, how much are you willing to pay for it? One dude, he was like, he threw out, I think he said 2,000. Another dude, 1,500. Another dude was like, he willing to pay 3,000 for it. So whatever they told me was what I charged them. But the least amount that I sold it for was like 1,500, and I sold it to like 4 or 5 people. And these were people that were in forums where I used to just hang out. So like again, it's not even like it was something that I had planned on doing. But when I just was explaining the way that I would trade and what the robot was capable of doing and how it protected you and, like the stealth mode and all that, people was hype. They was hype off of that. Yep, it was a very interesting time. A very interesting time. I've had so many different experiences like throughout my career trading. When I think back at just different things that I've done and that I've experienced, it's like a lot. It's a lot, man. And I was on my own. On my own, man. Yep. Joshua said the market owes us a trade today. Oh man. Mick said, a good week to see dominance and good behavior. Shed tons of light on positioning. Bam. You see how important positioning is to whether or not you'll get a trade at the right time. Because like once you wait for the market environment to be in place and for behavior to be right, now the market got to position itself to even, potentially create a trade opportunity for you. And you got to wait for all of that. You know what I'm saying? Yep, you got to wait. You got to wait it out. Yeah, this market's going back and forth really. Winston said, you mentioned you took a trade in your personal account after 2 weeks. I'm guessing that's your wife's shopping money. You guessed correct. However, you were taking trades per the blueprint project, so you really trade 3 times a week. It varies. It varies. Like, I would say during the 2 weeks where I was focused with the blueprint project, I wasn't really trading in my personal account because I didn't have to. Like those were good weeks. I had 2 good solid weeks with the blueprint, and then that's when last week and even kind of this week, like my time wasn't there to really be around on the charts like I wanted to. So this week I had decided to take a trade in my personal account just to kind of, because I'm always in position to give value to my trades regardless. So I don't need a lot of trades because if I get 1 or 2 trades, that'll be money that I'm able to earn and use like for the next month or 2. Like right now, my bills are paid for like 3 months. All of my bills are paid for 3 months right now. And I still have like money left over to spend. You know what I'm saying? So when you in position to do that type of shit, you can relax and not be stressed out about, oh, I ain't get a trade, this and that. That now, like, you'll kind of see why I keep stressing certain points. You see why I keep talking about giving value to your trades, the growth phase. Then when you shift to the income phase, laying out a plan, not being scared to trade. You got to develop all of these habits and you have to work on yourself to get to that point, because when you get there, look at how valuable it is for you. Like, just think about, like, if you just look at how I do it, I'm not worried about trading every day. I don't care. You understand? But I'm still, when I'm around, if I'm on the charts, I'll still look on the charts. Like I came on the charts now. I knew I was only going to be here for an hour. And it is what it is. No trade. All right, cool. Yesterday, or whatever day that was, when I took the trade in my personal account, trade was there. Bang. You see what I'm saying? So without ever putting myself in a position to be stressed, I'm always in a position to earn without forcing it. And that's important. It's important because it keeps you calm and focused. And remaining calm and focused always puts you ahead. Always. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it feels good when you in position to earn enough money to pay your bills in advance. Because you know that now you don't got to be stressed out about bills. Like, you're not worrying about, oh man, I don't know if I'm making enough money to pay that bill. Nah, don't even position yourself like that. You should position yourself where you're going to build up to the point where your account size is large enough where if you only end up taking one trade, the one trade that you take pays your bills like for weeks at a time. You understand what I'm saying? Where you're not feeling stressed to even be like, dang, I gotta get a trade every day. Or I gotta get 3 trades a day. Like people that do that, I really am empathetic towards people that put themselves in that position where they're like, I gotta get at least 2 a day. No. Don't even put yourself in position where you have to get 1 a day. Like, I want y'all to think about, just think about the spreadsheet. Like, I always revert back to the spreadsheet because the spreadsheet spreads it out more. The Blueprint Project is more so giving you an idea of where you can have your income level based on 1 trade each day. But even within the Blueprint Project, like last week, I had 1 trade. This week, did I take a trade I didn't even take a trade this week for the Blueprint Project. I took 1 trade this week for my regular account. But look at what I did the first 2 weeks in the Blueprint Project. More than 5,000. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not stressed because I know that I am controlling my time. I'm not under pressure to be on the chart. I don't have to be on the chart. These past 2 weeks, I had mad stuff going on. Like a lot of stuff. Wife had surgery, like all type of shit that goes on in life. You have to be okay with the fact that shit happens in life. The same way that on your job. You go to work, yes, but what happens if you have to take off from work? You got to take off from work, right? But this is far better because you are in control of everything that goes on. You're not at the mercy of a boss or somebody telling you what you have to do. Like, no, you're going to have to come into work, man. I'm sorry. I understand your situation, but I need you to come in. I just told you I can't come in. Well, if you can't come in, that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to hear those words. You don't want to hear your boss say, well, if you can't come in, it's a problem. You don't want to hear that shit. Because he really mean that it's a problem. If he's telling you that, he's warning you. He's like, listen, you better get your ass over here. I'm letting you know I don't got nobody else to fill in for you. Blah, 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 blah. And what do? Now you got to go to work in spite of whatever else you had going on in life. It might have been a family situation. It might have been anything that needed immediate attention. You understand what I'm saying? So this is why, what we doing, is not to be played around with. You really have to focus and work at putting yourself in position to be in position at all times. It's worth that much to do that. Anything else that you're doing, you bullshitting, you wasting time, you're not training as much as you can. You really are just wasting time. Valuable time. You really need to commit. You need to go all in. You're here the way that I tell you I train. If I'm not trading, I'm training. I know that through training, it's keeping me in the mindset, and the mindset keeps me in position all the time. I might go for a week and a half, 2 weeks with no trades. And I'm good because I know that when I do take a trade, my mindset is there. Focus, bang, money, bills paid, no stress. It's just in place. Like then you ain't have a week, you ain't have a trade in 2 weeks. Then you take one trade, and the one trade you take pays bills for 4 weeks. Yeah. Mind you, I ain't take a trade in 2 weeks. You see what I'm saying? So that's like what I mean when I say put yourself in position. And the more that you constantly train and work on elevating your skill, it keeps you in position. It's not enough just to get there and feel like, all right, well, I'm there, I'm good. Nope. Nope. You better stay on top of this, like what the market is doing. You better pay attention. You better focus. You know, so it's real, man. It's real. Oh, Josh said, why'd you stop selling them? Sounds like easy money. Well, because I really didn't want to sell them in the first place. Like I kind of sold them to people who were like my friends at the time. Like these were like my Forex buddies that used to just hang out in the forum. And they just kept beating me in the head. They was like, listen, man, like, all right, at 2000, I need it, please. It was kind of like that. So it was 5 of them. It was 5 people that just kept stressing me out about it. So I let them pay what they was willing to pay. You know, I ain't say nothing. I was like, all right, well, here. But they, you know, they made their money back like in no time because they were in position to do that. So it was all good. It was beautiful. It really was, actually. Is there any reason why you were this close to this? Unbelievable. I don't understand why people love to get closer in your car, yo. So I said that type of negotiating, Trump would be proud of you. I'm sure he would be. Bonnie said, how long have you been married? Since I've been married since 2007. I've been with my wife since like 2002. Yeah, 2002 to 2003, something like that. Long ass time, man. Long ass time. But what I like about my wife is like, I like her. Like I was talking about that one day on here. About like actually, you know, you gotta like the person that you with. Like you gotta like them. If you don't like your mate, you're gonna have problems, man. You're gonna really just have problems. Because not liking them turns into being disgusted with them when you're doing regular stuff that just, you know how your husband or your wife just annoys you. They do annoying shit that annoys you. If you annoy me and I don't like you, we got a serious problem now. You know what I'm saying? It's different when I like you and you annoy me, because it turns into, you know, like kind of humor, or it just, you know, you just laugh about shit after a while. Once the annoyance dies down, you're back to being friends again. You can't even not be friendly to each other because you're actually genuinely like each other. So that's important. I just want to throw that out there. I think this is the last binary right here. Damn. All right, well, it is what it is. It is what it is. Pick it back up on Sunday, see what's going on. Yeah, Trend Trader said, earn without forcing it. True words. Yes. Exactly right. Ed said, no emotions needed to trade, only skill. Bang. Yep. That's why I said, don't ever park close to Mark's car. You like flip the switch when someone got close to your vehicle. Yep. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Son says sometimes your spouse's annoyance will become amplified if you don't like each other. Yes, right. It turns from just annoyance to disgust. Like I've seen that happen to people, to couples, where they're literally disgusted with each other. Like they can't, like they don't even want to be around each other. You know, and I'm like, well, how y'all live together? Y'all got to sleep together. Like, what y'all doing? Sleeping in separate rooms? Like, what y'all doing? And I guess for some people, yeah, they end up doing that type of stuff. So it's kind of like they just, and then they do this. They start to, instead of getting closer, they get further and further away from each other. As a result of that, the fact that y'all don't like each other. You got to really know that you like the person that you're going to be with forever. It doesn't make, like, why would you, don't even do it to yourself to not be with someone that you like. You got to like them first. You know what I mean? Like, that's the first thing. I'm not talking about looks. I'm not talking about sex. I'm not talking about none of that. Because that's where a lot of dudes go wrong too. They like the sex, or they love the sex, don't like the girl. That's a problem. You got a problem. You have a problem if you do that. You better off liking the girl even if the sex is garbage. Not to say that that's what you should do, but I would rather do that than it be the other way around. Like some dudes are like, the sex got to be good. No. If you don't like it, the sex ain't going to be good eventually, and then you're going to still have the same problem. The less and less that you start to like her, the worse the sex gets. So it's like that ain't even the answer now. So you really stuck. You messed up. You better not put a ring on nothing. Like you better think about it again. James said the freedom to be free enough to have an opinion without the stress of the negative repercussions of someone else's opinions. Facts. Trent said, what did I miss? A retard moment? Oh man. Hassan said his wife is ride or die. Yep. James said, Mark, you are the man. When you break down your journey, it's like seeing the future in hindsight. Yeah, man. Definitely. Yeah, it's been very interesting, like on, my journey personally, because I know that so much of it has to do with stuff that I had to do. And what I mean by that is like, if, it's kind of like saying, dang, I can't do this because I don't have anybody. I don't have any guidance, and then you settle for not doing something that you want to do just for the simple fact that nobody's there to hold your hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not built like that. So that's why I forced my way in as far as figuring things out. I forced my way into it and figured shit out. And in the process of doing that, was able to navigate and to ultimately achieve success. But that came from just sheer determination and not, just refusing to give up. Like, you know what I mean? So it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But I'm glad that you guys are definitely getting the benefit of, like the knowledge that I share and stuff like that. I definitely appreciate that. Because I know that it's going to help somebody else. I know that. Like, every time that I talk about something, I'm like, yeah, this right here is going to hit home for somebody. I don't know who, but somebody going to get some benefit from it. And that's a good thing. you know. Son says his wife can't be stealing his fries off the plate. Man, my wife is funny because, you know, it's a crazy double standard. Women to do to you what they don't want you to do to them. And what's so funny is that we don't even really care like that most of the time. It depends on what it is. Like some things I'm not compromising. You know, like if you want to, like my wife, what she'll do, like if we eating dinner, you know, she likes to taste my food. And I'm like, of course, you could have some. You know what I'm saying? You could eat. Go ahead, do your thing. Now, if I do that with her, she'll be like, mm-mm. And it's like, what? So what I started doing was I'll give her the same thing that she gives me. I give her the mm-mm. And she's like, really? And I'm like, nah. Remember last time? Remember I asked you for a piece of your steak and you said mm-mm? I was like, here's your mm-mm back. And just hand it right back to her. And then she'll stop doing that. You know, so it's little stuff like that. It's not hard. It ain't difficult to figure out how to navigate. You know, you gotta pay attention and you'll figure it out. Yeah, man, definitely. It's my pleasure to share. It is my pleasure. Yes, that's what it is. What's yours is hers, and what's hers is hers. I'm like, it's so funny how it's we when I'm paying. If I'm paying, it's we now. Oh, well, we. I'm like, it's we now? When you was paying, it was me. And you said no. She quick with that right there, boy. She's like, no, I'm not using my money. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh. Now it's your money. I thought it was our money. Oh man. That's funny. Winston said, did that answer your question, Bonnie? Right, because I think Bonnie opened up this can of worms right here. She asked me how long I was married, right? Yeah. Oh man. What's funny is Bonnie probably left. She was like, no, never mind. He was like, never mind. Yeah, but it's all good though. Right, on that we part. Quick fast. Yeah, we turn to me real fast. Like instantaneously. Yeah, it's the dynamic between men and women is just fascinating to me because women are amazing. Like they're just amazing as people, as the human being. Their processes are different than men. And for some reason it seems like we like to complicate things. They like to simplify things, but they don't simplify things for you to understand. They simplify things so that it seems like that's how it should be. Like you understand what I'm saying by that? They simplify stuff to the point where it's like they make you feel like you're kind of slow or a little retarded or something because you didn't understand it that way already. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they penalize you for not understanding what they're going to say. And this is why you have to study your wife, your girlfriend. Even if you got daughters, you got to study them. You got to pay attention. You have to pay attention because it's the little stuff that if you overlook, that's what turns into the big stuff that you got to deal with later. Like any issue that you run into is going to be some small that you missed. Every time. It's never different. It's always something that was small that turns into some real big shit. All the time. All the time. It's crazy. So I said, what's on the next episode of Eat Like Mark Fuller? I know, right? I know. And it's funny because now I'm thinking about it too. Matter of fact, as I was talking about that point just now, I was thinking about, damn, what I'm gonna get. Yeah, I'm thinking salad. I'm thinking salad. I've been thinking salad this week, like for some reason. But you know what I think I might do? I think I'm gonna do some steamed vegetables and some steamed fish. Steamed veggies and steamed fish. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, man, I'm keeping it light, man. Keeping it light. Because when it's hot, for some reason, I don't like to eat as heavy, too. When it's hot, I don't eat as heavy. James said, like, something simple, like the way you load the dishwasher. It's in there. Her, yeah, but it should be placed like this. You know, it's funny that you say that. They'll want the dishes placed in the same direction. It's like, well, why do you have this facing that way and this one's facing that way? Wouldn't it make sense that they all face that way? And it's like, yeah, but I didn't feel like doing that. Well, why don't you do that? You just be like, okay. All right. Another thing is too, is like, I don't know about you guys, but my wife likes to snack. She loves a snack, right? She will get mad at me for not stopping her from snacking. But then she will get equally as mad when I stop her from snacking. I'm like, what happened? Like, how do I win this one? You want me to stop you from snacking, right? Because you feel like you snack too much. You don't want to, tack on the extra pounds, blah, 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 blah. All of that. Cool. All right. I make a mental note of that. You don't want to snack as much because you don't want to gain any weight. Got you. I'm on it. You ready to snack now? I'd remind you that you don't want to gain weight. Remember, you want to chill. So don't get that cookie, that cake, whatever. Here's some fruit. I don't want fruit. Okay. But remember, you told me that you said that, you don't want to tack on pounds. Yeah, but I don't want fruit. What else you got? What else I got? Like, that's it. I don't, what else is there? You either eating cookies and pretzels and bread and cakes, or you eating a piece of fruit. Like, ain't nothing else in between. What you want? Some corn? You want some veggies? You want me to get you a plate of veggies? Some crudité? You want that? No, I don't want that. All right. Give up. I give up. Yeah, it's a very interesting dynamic, man. And then when you get married, it amplifies because now it's like, there's no escaping nothing now. Now she has carte blanche to do everything. She got your last name, so she's the boss now. As if she wasn't already. But yeah, so there you have it. Married life in a nutshell. All right, Mick, have a good one, man. Have a good one. All right, what time is it? 4:15. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna go over to Starbucks in a little while. I'll be doing the recap from over there. And We'll be back at it on Sunday for training, and back at it on Monday over here, I guess, on YouTube. All right, I'm out of here. I'll holler at y'all, man. Y'all have a good weekend. All right, everybody be safe. Deuces. All right, son, man. Peace.